Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to episode 14 of Highly Opinionated. I'm your co-host, Josh. Ladies and gentlemen, the best co-host in the game, Tim. What's up, brother?
Hey, what's good with you?
Everything good with you, my brother?
Yeah, man, I'm just dodging these Ravens fans, man.
We're
But
gonna see
everything
this.
good, man.
I think I think you, ladies and gentlemen, you watch the episode throughout, you'll see what Tim is talking about. Tim, keep your head on the swivel, man. Hands up, head on the swivel. Everything will be fine, my brother. The best producer in the game, Ross. What's up, brother? Talk to him.
What's good, Josh? How you feeling?
I'm good, man. We got you, man. The best in the game, brother. We just want to thank you. Can't thank you enough, man. You are the best.
I appreciate that. I appreciate y'all all the time, for sure.
Absolutely. Everything good with you?
Yeah, no, I can't complain. I'm definitely ready to get this show started. We got some good football tonight, or maybe not good football, but some entertaining football tonight. Yeah, I'm
Absolutely.
definitely ready.
Get ready to it. We want to thank everybody for watching last week's show. Thank you for watching this week's show. Again, we strive to be the best. We're gonna keep being that. We are trying to be you guys' favorite weekly sports show out. Again, we appreciate all the love and we striving to be number one. So thank you very much for all the support. And we got a lot more to give. So we definitely aiming for that number one spot. Ross, let them know where they can follow at our socials and give them all that wonderful information.
Of course, you already know. Follow us on Instagram at highly opinionated __ and on X or Twitter at highly O_SS. And of course, you already on YouTube, so go ahead and like, subscribe, leave a comment. Like I always say, we will comment back. We like the engagement. We need the engagement. So we'll be back. We'll be talking back to y'all.
Absolutely. Ladies and gentlemen, the offer that Tim put out, the great co-host, $50 for the 50th subscriber on YouTube still stands. Currently, right now, we're at 47 subscribers. So you guys,
that's why I was just checking. 47
subscribers right on the dot. So you guys make sure that the 50th subscriber, take a picture of it, send it to us on our Instagram page, and we will cash app you that $50. Again, we appreciate all the love and support. Tim, you ready to get it going, my brother?
Yes, sir. Let's get it.
Let's get it. Let's start off like we always do. College football week 12 recap. Let's start off with the best game of the week. Tennessee and Georgia. I went with them dogs. You went with your Tennessee Volunteers. Georgia beat Tennessee 31-17. A clean game from Carson Beck. No turnovers. 25 of 40, 347 yards, 2 touchdowns, no interceptions. He also had 3 rushing attempts for 32 yards and a touchdown run. This Georgia team had their backs put up against the wall to them last week when they lost on the road at Ole Miss, the Ole Miss Rebels. So Georgia understood the assignment, and they met the assignment with the full force that I knew that they would. They have the best coach in the country, ladies and gentlemen, in Kirby Smart, and whenever his team or his situation, his back is put up against the wall, they're going to come out swinging. So I'm not surprised that Georgia beat Tennessee at all.
Yeah, this game, man. Tennessee defense just ain't traveled well. Like they didn't. Beck had a clean pocket all game. They did really whatever they wanted on offense, even though Tennessee started the game 10-0. But after that point, man, yeah, they defense ain't get stopped. So what I thought with the defense actually didn't travel. Simpson had a pretty solid game, but they really couldn't get the run game going either. So, yeah, shout out to Kirby Smart and the Bulldogs, man. Big win.
Absolutely. Georgia's now 8-2. Tennessee's 8-2. The SEC is a logjam. Texas is 9-1 in conference. Texas A&M, Georgia, Tennessee, Alabama, Ole Miss. All those teams are 8-2. So that fight for that SEC championship game is definitely something. The next game that we're going to go over, Missouri and South Carolina. This was a very, very entertaining, compelling game. South Carolina won 34-30. Shane Beamer. I love the job that he's done with South Carolina. You were the first to bring South Carolina to my attention this year. You said it right here on this show that South Carolina is one of the best teams, and they were losing close games. Sellers, the quarterback, 21-30, 356 yards, 5 touchdowns, 1 interception. He was tremendous. He also added 45 rushing yards on the ground. This South Carolina team, they are definitely a dangerous team. Like you say, you want to play your best ball as the season progresses, and that's definitely what South Carolina is doing offensively and defensively. Obviously, they gave up 30 points. Fine, we get that. It's not a bad thing. They gave up 30 points to a Missouri team. Brady Cook played for Missouri. He was 21 to 31, 237 yards. He had a touchdown. He had an interception. Noel, the running back, had 150 yards on 27 attempts and a touchdown. So it was an offensive type game. And the better team and the better coach, in my opinion, won. Shout out to South Carolina.
Yeah, shout out to South Carolina, man. We both picked South Carolina. Like you said, Sellers had a great day. I'm actually shocked Missouri did score this much points. If you watched the game the week before, and their offense couldn't do much. I know Brady Cook was back this week, so that helped a little bit. But, yeah, man, South Carolina, man, they just one of them dangerous teams you really don't want to play.
Absolutely. Like you said, brother, they're getting hot at the right time, and I would not want to play them. They play Clemson at the end of the season. That is a very interesting game for Clemson. Very. Last game that we're going to go over that we picked from last week is Tulane and Navy. I picked Navy. You picked Tulane. It was a green wave down there in Annapolis. Yeah, that's what it was. It was a green wave down there in Annapolis. Tulane, the green wave, they beat them 35-0. This game was literally never close. Tulane started off hot, ended hot. They ran the ball. They passed the ball. They only passed for 138 yards, but they still passed the ball when they needed to. Navy couldn't get anything going. They passed the ball for a total of 13 yards. You're not going to win no game playing that way. Quarterback also had 13 yards and an interception. You can't win that way. Tulane's the better team. Tulane has clinched a spot in the AAC championship game. That will be December the 6th, the first Saturday in the championship weekend. Be either that Friday, December the 5th, or Saturday, December the 6th. So they're playing their conference championship game. Congratulations to Tulane on winning this game and making it to that conference championship game.
Yeah, this game was over once Navy quarterback got hurt. Forbath, man, he's really the key to that offense because he could throw it and run it. So once he went down, man, it was tough for Navy to move the ball. It wasn't the same offense with the backup quarterback in. So, like you said, the green wave hit and that game ended quickly. So, shout out to Tulane.
Absolutely. They were the better team, and they definitely showed it by winning 35-0. Week 13, fastly approaching college football. Let's preview that. Let's go over the three marquee games of the week. Let's start off with the marqueest game, college game day. Big noon kickoff will both be there. Number 5, Indiana travels to play number 2, Ohio State, Saturday, 12 o'clock, Fox. Gus Johnson, Joe Klatt, Jenny Taft on the call. Who you like?
Man, this game is going to come down to Indiana, how legit Indiana is. I've been hearing people said they had the 103rd ranked schedule. So we about to see they about to get a real test and see what they could do. This game honestly comes down to Curtis Roy, the quarterback for Indiana. I think he's going to have a good game, man. I think he's going to have a good game, but it's not going to be enough to win the game. Give me Ohio State in a close game.
But I'll ask you this: Ohio State's favored by 13. Would they cover that?
Yeah, I think Indiana covers the spread.
Indiana covers the 13-point spread. Yeah. Man, I love what Kurt Cinetti, the new head coach for Indiana, just got paid 6 years, 78 million, 79 million, something in that ballpark range, I should say. I think he's doing a terrific job for Indiana. However, I think this is wrong spot, wrong place, wrong time, wrong opportunity. I think I'm obviously taking Ohio State as well. I think Ohio State beats them by at least 14 points, which at that point now you question, should they make the playoff? Because they went against one good team and they got blown out by. I just think Ohio State's on the mission in this particular game. I don't think Indiana – I know Indiana has a great offense. They want to run and gun and run and shoot and get the ball out and get the ball down the field. But I just think Ohio State can match up well with Indiana, and I think Ohio State's wide receivers will be dominant. Jeremiah Smith and Jigma. I think those guys are single-handedly win the game. So, and I think the Ohio State offensive line be massive for Indiana. I think they'll impose their will. So I think Ohio State wins, and I think they cover the spread. The next game that we're going to go over, ladies and gentlemen, when the season started, we never thought that we would be talking about BYU. Well, I'm not going to say we never thought we'd talk about BYU, but we never thought we'd be talking about Arizona State. Arizona State, BYU travels to play Arizona State Saturday, 3:30. I am getting it now on ESPN. I'll start us off. BYU lost at home last week to a Kansas team who, by the way, we are not picking this game. This week, Colorado at Kansas. This will be Dion's hardest challenge to get them. If they win this game, I think they can. I think they'll go to the Big 12 championship. All I'm gonna say is I'm not so for sure that they will win this game. Kansas has to win that game to become bowl eligible. So just keep that in mind, ladies and gentlemen, when you're making your picks this week. Getting back to this game, BYU at Arizona State. Kansas beat BYU last week. So I think BYU attention will be, they'll have their attention. I'm taking BYU to beat Arizona State on the road. Arizona State is favored by 3.5. I like the upset. Give me BYU.
Yeah, BYU seems to have lost some steam in the last couple of weeks. They won a close one the week before last. Then they lost a close one last week. Arizona is coming off a dominant win versus K-State, man. They put it on K-State. With that being said, give me BYU. I think they get back in the right direction this week. Give me BYU.
We both are on BYU. Yeah, I just think I think BYU lost to Kansas because Kansas is. Remember, I had Lance Leipold on. We talked about him earlier on the show. I had he was disappointed. They're better than a 3-16. Yeah, Kansas is just better than that. They have a quarterback that Daniels that played last year. So I don't think the loss against Kansas is as bad as they're trying to make it for BYU. Kansas is a good team when they play like how Kansas is supposed to play.
Right.
And BYU, like I said, their antennas will be up. They understand you lose one more game now, you might not even make the conference championship. So let's get to it. Shout out to Arizona State, new head coach. Those guys are definitely fighting hard this year and playing well. Last game that we're going to pick this week is the Pittsburgh Panthers at the Louisville Cardinals, Saturday at 4 o'clock. This game is on ESPN2. Who you like? But I'm sorry, before you go. Louisville is favored by 8 points. Now, who you like?
So Pitt is coming off a heartbreaking loss, man. They let Cade Klubnik run a 50-yard touchdown basically to end the game. And Louisville just lost to a bad Stanford team. With that being said, give me Dion Reed, Pat Narduzzi, and the Pittsburgh Panthers. They win the game. They not only cover, but they win the game.
I like Pittsburgh as well. We are in agreement this week. Louisville had the worst loss I've seen all season in college football. They should have beat Stanford. A bad penalty at the end of the game cost them the game. That's how they got in field goal range to kick the game-winning field goal. Stanford scored 25 points in the final 2 quarters. 8 in the third quarter, 17 in the fourth quarter. Bad coaching, bad situation. Guys not focused on what they need to be focused on. I'm with you. I'm taking Pittsburgh. I know Louisville is favored by 8 points. I like Pittsburgh to win flat out, and I would definitely take the points. Pittsburgh's going to win this game. Pat Narduzzi is going to have these guys ready, like you said. They lost a game against Clemson. Quite frankly, I don't even think they should have lost.
No.
So Pittsburgh is right there. They'll play hard. They'll play tough, and they'll play smart because of Narduzzi, the head coach. Give me Pitt. Good lineup of college games this week. Again, we haven't even talked about Colorado and Kansas. I just want to mention that up again. Ladies and gentlemen, Colorado could be in the Big 12 championship. This week at Kansas will be their biggest challenge. That Kansas team has a lot to play for. They have to win out just to become bowl eligible. So it's a lot of low marquee games this week that you guys should definitely pay attention to. Army and Notre Dame as well. That's a big game. Army's 9-0, and Notre Dame is 8-1. So a lot of good games this week in college football. You make sure you guys take a gander and watch as much as you can. We'll take a quick break. You're watching Highly Opinionated. We'll be right back. Welcome back to Highly Opinionated. As you can see, ladies and gentlemen, we have a special guest, the owner of Kitty Candy Treats, Miss Bobby. How you doing? Welcome to Highly Opinionated. How's everything? How you doing? How's everything?
I'm doing well. I'm doing okay.
Good. Tim, I'll let you start us off, man, with your first question. Go ahead.
Okay, so it's a candy business. So what is freeze-dried candy? For the viewers that don't know.
It is basically candies that you've known or grew up on that has been placed into a freeze dryer, and it is put under a lot of pressure and heat, and is transformed into a light, airy, crisp or crunch, almost like a cereal texture, or a cheese curl.
Okay.
What was your motivation to start making freeze dried candy? What was your passion to do it?
I wouldn't say a passion, but more so an influence. So social media. Um, you know, I wanted to get into it because a lot of our people weren't doing it. So I wanted to get into it and get it to our people and let them, get a taste of it.
Absolutely, absolutely. Go ahead, Tom.
So like, what products do you sell?
Anywhere from okay, so I'll give you a rundown of I do Skittles, peach ring, any gummy flavored candies, chocolates, caramel. We can transition snacks, more Rice Krispies, anything.
Okay. So pretty mass variety. Like you do a little bit of everything.
Mm-hmm.
That's good. That's good. My last question is, got this wonderful business going. Where can we get the product at? Where can we buy it from?
You order, and we ship anywhere in Maryland. And you can go to kittycandytreats.com. That's Kitty Candy Treats, KIIE, candy with a K, treats with a Z.com.
I got one more question.
Go ahead, Tim. I'll let you wrap this up.
Where did the name come from?
Honestly,
You
Okay.
said your children came up with it.
yep, they came up
Good.
with.
I like that. I like that.
That's a lovely name, lovely family business you got. We want to thank you for being our first ever guest with an actual business on, and you doing your thing. We definitely will come through and support. Ladies and gentlemen, you make sure you follow Candy Kitty Treats on Instagram. You make sure you go on that website, Candy Kitty Treats, KIDDIEKANDY Treats, TREATZ.com. Make
Mhm.
sure you go there and you shop and you get some of the best freeze dried candy in Maryland. Thank you,
Mhm.
Bobby, for coming on. We appreciate you. We thank you for your time. Okay.
Yes, thank you guys.
Thank you. Thank you.
Absolutely. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to Highly Opinionated. First time ever, Tim. We had two guests on the show. Back to
Yeah.
back, man. Crazy. Crazy. First time for everything. And the first person to be the second guest on the show couldn't be no better other person than I know. The great Kev has joined the show. Welcome to Highly Opinionated. Kev, what's up, brother?
Man, I'm doing well, man. Appreciate you guys for having me, man. I'm excited, man.
Absolutely, absolutely. We're excited to have you here, man. We are definitely excited to have you here. What's going on with you, man? Everything good?
Yeah, man, I can't complain at all, man. Just another beautiful Monday. Too bad it wasn't a winning Monday for our Baltimore Ravens, but you know, it's all good. Even worse, it was a losing week for my pockets as well via FanDuel and all those other good things. But hey, it's a week-to-week sport, and we just got to come back stronger the next week.
Yeah, that's what they say. Ain't it? Week to week sport. You gotta come back stronger next week.
I mean, they change it every
What it
single
is.
week.
Whatever you do to motivate yourself, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, exactly.
Got it.
Just leave it in the past and just act like it didn't happen, I guess.
Got that. Speaking of your Baltimore Ravens, they suffered a tough loss Sunday on the road, division rival at the Pittsburgh Steelers. Your thought process on that game? How'd you feel about it? What do you think the Ravens go after from here?
Yeah, man. So, in reference to that game, listen, I'll say this, man. That right there, was a classic Baltimore Ravens versus Pittsburgh Steelers game. I frequent, the Ravens Bleacher Report chat after games to kind of get a feel for, how the fans are kind of like, taking the loss and stuff like that. And I mean, it's just a funny thing, I'll say first things first. Anytime the Ravens lose a game, I mean, you almost guarantee that the first thing everybody's going to say is, "Oh, fire Harbaugh, get rid of the coaching staff." It's the same thing every year. I mean, how spoiled we are, to be Baltimore Ravens fans with probably one of the best quarterbacks to ever play the game, and hey, you can't win them all. I mean, the Pittsburgh Steelers, they're just a very tough, physical football team, coached very well. No surprises, at all in terms of how the game went yesterday. I will say I was definitely a little disappointed. I think that Derrick Henry fumble, on the very first drive really kind of set the tone. Personally, if you ask me today, I still think the Ravens are the better team overall. Unfortunately, yesterday it just was the Pittsburgh Steelers' day. It was, I mean, it's just, they just kind of out physical, they were just more physical than us. We had a lot of opportunities in the game to, take the lead, hold on to the lead. You had a couple missed field goals in the game from, who many consider to be the GOAT when it comes to, kicking the football, and Justin Tucker. I mean, this guy here, I don't know, he's got some type of mental something going on. It's, I don't know how long this thing can last, but, for him to miss the 2 field goals he's missed and still come back and hit the 54-yarder, no doubt about it, he still can do it. It's just the consistency now, is what we're going to need from him, because obviously our kicker is going to be very important, down the stretch. But other than that, I think Lamar, he hung in there pretty strong. We had a couple of drops late in the game that, had those passes been caught, could have kind of, saved some time on the clock in regards to that final drive as we were pushing downfield. And then honestly, I mean, I think the game honestly was won, believe it or not, on the timeout call by, head coach Mike Tomlin, right as they were that 2-point conversion. If their timeout was not called in that position, I think we have a whole different outcome today. But, everybody's, burning down everything here in Baltimore, at least on the radios and everything in the airways, get rid of this person, get rid of that person. I just think we buckle up next week. We go into, real meaty portion of our schedule, with a couple tough matchups coming up. And it's really going to test us. But I'd rather get the testers out now so that come, playoff time, we're ready to roll, man. So I'm good with it either way. No harm, no foul. It's just another classic Pittsburgh versus Ravens rivalry. And it was a good one.
Go ahead, Tom.
Yeah, so the Ravens, man. So everyone thinks Derrick Henry. So the notion Derrick Henry needs the ball more, right? Every time they lose, is Derrick Henry needs the ball more, right?
Yeah.
So to me, right, how could it feel like we shift? Like I feel like Lamar's the only quarterback that we don't give enough blame to, right? So
right.
Like he's the only quarterback I feel like when they lose, oh no, we needed to give Derrick Henry the ball. Why is that? He's the MVP, right? That's the front runner for MVP. Why can't he just win you that game? You know what I'm saying? That's my problem with like the whole Ravens thing as a whole. Like I feel like we can shoot down every other quarterback. I could say he's sorry. As soon as you say something about Lamar, oh no, it was the coaches, Tucker missed 4 field goals. Like it ain't never like it's rarely ever Shorty fault. Like I just don't get how that works.
Look, it's a funny thing that you say that because it quickly reminds me to a whole other thing. So for years I was in the restaurant business, and I've been a part of a lot of busy days in the restaurant business where things just don't work out in regards to customers' perspective. And it's a funny thing you say that because, as either, a server or a bartender, whatever you may be, if you're considered, the front of the house, you're always the ones responsible, right? Now, the kitchen literally overcooked 20 steaks, but at the end of the day, if the restaurant crashes and burns, you're the face, you're the one who kind of that person who takes the blunt of it. And it's a funny thing you say that, because the first thing they'll say is, oh, well, the kitchen got a lot on their hands already. The kitchens, they're in there working for 14 hours under the heat, barely getting anything to drink, and they're just pumping plate after plate after plate. You guys are out here, you're talking to different tables. You got time to stop for a break. Heck, they can't even stop to use the bathroom. So it kind of seems like it's kind of that same notion when it comes to Lamar Jackson. Whereas though, you got Derrick Henry, the whole O-line, the wide receivers in the defense, they're all on the front of the house. But at the end of the day, Lamar Jackson is the chef. So he's the one that's going to get the pass. And I do understand what you say, but, I'm not one of those fans that say, Derrick Henry needs to get the ball more. I think, the Ravens are doing, pretty much as best as they can in terms of dispersing the ball to Derrick Henry. I mean, the thing that people got to realize and recognize with the Ravens is, to be very honest with you, they have at least 3 Pro Bowl running backs, right now on the roster. And if I was, to be, facetious, I guess you could say, you could throw Lamar in as a 4th quarterback, a 4th running back option is there as well. I mean, you're talking Justice Hill, who's a Pro Bowler. You're talking Keaton Mitchell, who's going to be a future Pro Bowler, no doubt about it. And then you're talking about Derrick Henry, who's a Hall of Famer. And then you're probably talking about Lamar Jackson, who, at the end of the day, when it's all said and done, no doubt about it, he's a Hall of Famer. But he may have been maybe the greatest show to ever, touch the field in football. So with that being said, when you have
Michael Vick.
That's another argument that I probably had to come back on the show.
Yeah.
That'd be a good thing. That'd be fun. But to be honest, when you have those running backs there with the talent level that they all have, personally, a lot of people may not agree with this, but I think personally, all of those running backs should be getting the ball at some point. I say as the season goes on, you work in Keaton Mitchell. But I mean,
Right.
that you punch with Derrick Henry and Justice Hill. I think honestly, Justice Hill is really the key to the Ravens running back success. And the reason why I say that is because, Lamar Jackson, unfortunately, when it comes to rushing the football, you can't predict any move that he's going to make.
Yeah.
However, when it comes to Derrick Henry, it's very predictable. When he gets the
Oh,
ball, you
God.
already know you're in trouble, right? Now, when Justice Hill comes on the field, you
Mm.
have two options. The thing about Justice Hill, he's incredible on the outside with his speed. He actually, even at that 5'9", 185-foot frame that he's at, he still can run in between the tackles. But then he also brings a receiving threat that, really just keeps the defense honest. I mean, you can't, it's really nothing you can do. And I'll be honest with you. I think the Ravens' success when it comes to the offense will continue to grow based on how, better they can manage the three running backs that they have, including Lamar Jackson with running the football. So I'm definitely not one of the fans that say, hey, give it to Derrick Henry. Hey, if we're in the playoffs and it's the fourth quarter and we're trying to finish the game, we know who the ball is going to. But those
Right.
first and second crucial quarters, when you're really just, setting the tone there and just trying to do as much as you can to keep the defense on their toes and confuse them, I think, the comedy, the committee of the running back there, will bring more success. Personally, that's what I think.
Yeah, I love the committee that they got. Obviously, man, you're talking enough basis. So, I just love the fact. I love Derrick. I agree with what you said. Derrick Henry is a Hall of Famer. Lamar Jackson is a Hall of Famer. Now, we can debate Michael Vick, Randall Cunningham, him, however, Steve Young, whoever you want to throw in there. Okay, fine. But Lamar Jackson is going to make the Hall of Fame. He got 2 MVPs and counting. He probably win at least one more before he stopped playing. Then you got Justice Hill, like you said. I love him. Your Swiss Army knife. He can catch the ball. Not only can he catch the ball, he can run with the ball. And then you got Keaton Mitchell, who's an up and coming rookie. He got hurt last year. He's just making himself back. His speed is ridiculous. So you have all that, and then again, like you said, you have Lamar Jackson. So you have 4 good, ladies and gentlemen. I'm not calling Lamar Jackson a running back. Don't kill me. But in this particular situation, you have 4 good running backs, 4 good runners who can run with the ball. Let's say it that way. I'm not gonna say running backs. 4 good runners who can run with the ball, and Justice Hill and Keaton Mitchell can catch as well. So I agree with you. I feel like they should. It's not about giving the ball to Derrick Henry. When you get down in football games, you can't run the ball. That's what happened when they got down to Cincinnati. They were down by 14 points. Derrick Henry had 15 rushing attempts. It's not going to work like that. You have to throw the ball down the field. So with those running backs that they have, the offensive line, which I feel needs to get a little better, the team that they have, again, the Ravens lost a close divisional game. It's not the end of the world. They got a big game this week coming up Monday night at the Chargers. I keep about to say San Diego, at the Chargers. So we'll see how that goes. As far as the rest of the NFL, when we get people on here, we like to see what they thinking about what teams could be going to the Super Bowl. So as of right now, what would be your Super Bowl matchup?
Yeah, man. So,
Hey, before you answer that, Kev, you are not obligated to say the Ravens.
oh
Right?
yeah,
You know
for
what I'm saying? You
sure.
can go off what you're saying right
Yo,
now. Like, I'm just
not
letting you know there's no pressure.
No, listen, no doubt about it.
Okay.
The 2 teams that I'm going to name are without question, my picks, and they've been my picks for
Okay.
a couple of weeks now.
Okay.
And like I said, this is a week-to-week sport, so I don't expect all these teams to play at high levels every week. But I know who I expect to see in the big dance when it's all said and done. And I'll start by, the NFC representative for that team. I mean, the team for the NFC. Right now, most people will be probably going with the Lions, but the reason why I can't go with the Lions, I think they have a really good program. I mean, you got 2 running backs. I mean, teams that have multiple options, multiple weapons, those are the teams that go the furthest, in my opinion. You got David Montgomery, he's the guy who's going to finish the game. I mean, he can start and finish it. I mean, it doesn't really matter. But then you throw in, the secondary running back, Jamar Gibbs, they have there. And I mean, you got real serious issues because now this guy can run between the tackles and then he can kill you receiving the ball, on the receiving end as well. Problem with the Lions, obviously, this, kind of like that middle of the road, middle of the pack defense, which can get you a Super Bowl. But the real issue with the Lions, man, is just the quarterback, unfortunately, is not mobile. And, in this day and age, I think a mobile quarterback really will get you over the hump in the playoffs, and especially when you're trying to fight for a Super Bowl there. So I would love to pick the Lions, but unfortunately, I cannot do that. So my pick will actually be the Philadelphia Eagles to represent the NFL in the Super Bowl this year. I think the team, had an off year last year. I think that was a very humbling season for them. And I think they came back this year with a real purpose, a better understanding of their quarterback. And I believe their quarterback, he doesn't have to be the best quarterback in the league. We all know that, but he can get the job done. And then when the play breaks down, he can extend the play and make that key throw or that key, scamper for 15, 20 yards to seal the game. And then you add in Saquon Barkley, who was just having the season that basically we all waited for him to have. And I mean, now he's doing it, in real life. And we're starting to see, him just, flourish, in his potential. So you got a lot of danger there with that combination. And then you still got, some real big dogs on the D line. At the end of the day, the game is still won in the trenches. They have an offensive line that's pretty much been, gelled together for, at least a season or two, long enough to keep them up, Jalen Hurts upright. And then you got, a strong defensive line and a strong defensive presence on the flip side. And that right there is really going to give a lot of teams in the NFC havoc this year. So that would be my NFC pick. And then in the AFC, man, I hate to be a homer, but, I just really don't see a team better than the Baltimore Ravens at this time. I know we took the hard loss yesterday, but to be honest with you, I mean, they're again, like I said, no surprise here. To be very honest with you, the Ravens' weak point right now is the defense. And, being around this team for as long as I've been around them, I have absolutely no doubt in my mind that the adjustments will be made via crunch time, when it's time to really buckle up. Right now, the Ravens' pass defense is ranked either 31st or 32nd in the league right now. And I just don't think, over the next stretch of the next 4 to 6 weeks, that's going to be the same positioning for them. I feel like if the Ravens defense can creep somewhere until, 17th, between 17th and 12th, that's a number. If they can become a defense that just consistently can bend but not break, at the end of the day, you flip over to the offense. I just, outside of what the Steelers did yesterday, a lot of those things, we kind of brung on ourselves. I mean, again, I think that Derrick Henry fumble was really big in that game. That was really big. It kind of set the tone for how the day went. I believe, honestly, on that drive, we would have scored. I mean, you talk about a team who scores, 7 points just right out the gate every single week, and that's kind of how they get ahead and the party gets started. But I don't even think we've tapped into the full potential of this offense at all. And I'm just being honest with you. If I'm Todd Monken, I'm sitting here and I'm just like, dude, I've got more, weapons than I got enemies at this point. I mean, you got a guy, Deontay Johnson, who I have a lot of respect for as a player who was a former Steeler. And I mean, this guy here, he's probably averaging about 10 to 12 snaps a game. Listen, when it comes to playoff football, the thing that kills the Ravens every single year is that teams start to play them tight. They tighten them up. The moments start getting bigger, all right? The receivers all of a sudden cannot create separation, maybe can't hold on to the football and those type of things. I think the trade that they made for Deontay Johnson was actually going to be the key to the season when it comes to the playoffs. Believe it or not, I think he is the one receiver on this team and probably the most consistent receiver on this team that will be able to create separation in the playoffs. And I think that they're, in a combination with an improved defense. I mean, everything else is already in place. I mean, that's it. You know what you're getting out of Lamar. You know what you're getting out of Derrick Henry. The secondary and the third X factor, again, Justice Hill and Deontay Johnson. What he can start bringing towards, the playoff football time is going to be really a special thing. And I look forward to it. I really think it's going to be the Philadelphia Eagles versus the Baltimore Ravens. In terms of who will win that game, oh man, that's a toss-up. You had to have me back on the show to talk about that one.
When that matchup happened, we will definitely have you back on. Now let you pick a winner. Go ahead, Tim.
Baltimore Ravens, man. I was hoping you was better than that, kid. I was like, the boy sounds so good, and I like the Eagles pick a lot.
Hey, Kev, you know he loved the Eagles pick. He was just Tim was just grinning up here. Oh yeah, my Eagles. Oh
he said it better. He said it better than I could. I said
for a real long time, man. I known Tim for a very long time.
Yeah, for sure. But okay, so this is my problem with the Ravens pick, right? They one of the most penalized teams in the league, right?
Okay.
You can change that, but it's like kind of like you can change it, but it's like
you are
what you are in a sense. You know what I'm saying? Like it's kind of hard to just all of a sudden get disciplined. Lamar don't do well in big games, man. Like I just like, for me, like it's hard for me to say like Super Bowl. You know what I'm saying? Like like Lamar got a playoff wins as Dak Prescott, right? And we killed Dak Prescott. You feel me? And it's like they like in the playoffs, they the same. You know what I'm saying? You getting the same result. Dak numbers look a little better. You might say he throwing a little bit more, which makes sense. But it's like for me, I would have to see them get over a hurdle, right? So, in the AFC, the hurdle is probably going to be. I know they whipped on the Bills, so the Bills, it sounds crazy.
Yeah.
But that I don't think if you think that's the same Bills team that they played in Week 3 till now, it's not. So like I think the Bills would be a problem. Josh Allen looking like the MVP to me right now. To me, I think it's his to lose to me now. That's just me personally. Because I think the Ravens might get another L or two, so it's gonna be hard. You know what I'm saying? It's gonna be hard for Lamar to get it with 5 or 6. You know what I'm saying? Me personally, you got to beat. I know people were sleeping on the Chargers. That's going. You know what I'm saying? Like, so you are gonna have to go through some defenses. Whereas though, like, I feel like if you stop the run, like, I'm not a fan of the Ravens receivers. I ain't gonna lie to you. I'm not.
I totally understand.
Zay cool. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
No, Zay cool, but like, Rashad Bateman, Aguilar.
Rashad Bateman, you know, in my opinion, he's been, you know, he hasn't been as consistent as I would like to see. Yeah. Think about Rashad Bateman. He makes all the tough catches. All of them.
I give him that. Yeah,
he does suffer from is the easy drops. And I think a lot of that stuff is just focus and stuff like that.
For sure.
And as the season goes on, you know, it's no doubt about it. You know, you look at the connection between Lamar and Rashad Bateman last year to now. I mean, it's an absolute. I mean, it's just a complete turntable there. Right. I mean, you're seeing much better production. Listen, there's a realistic chance that Rashad Bateman could go over 1,000 yards receiving this year. It's a realistic thing.
Right.
You know, with that being said, I mean, you know, the receiving core. I mean, what team has ever won the Super Bowl with an amazing, you know, wide receiver core? I mean, you look at the Ravens receiver core top to bottom. I mean, again, you know, you got Rashad Bateman, who's probably, you know, a wide receiver 2 at this point. You got Zay Flowers, who's wide receiver 1. You got Nelson Aguilar, who's like wide receiver 5. You got Tylan Wallace, who, you know, I'll be honest with you, I don't really expect to see much from him. But what I do expect, just like I said a little earlier, Deontay Johnson, man, this guy is a solid receiver. If you look at some of the numbers that he's put up with quarterbacks of the like of what's that, Mason Rudolph and Pickett,
Duck Hodges.
I wasn't even going to mention that gentleman with all respect to him, but you know that just right there. I mean, look at the numbers that he was putting up with those guys there. You know, I'm just hoping that the Ravens can work him into the rotation. And you know, I mean, they tried yesterday. I mean, they threw a 40-yard pass to him that Lamar unfortunately just, you know, threw a little on the outside shoulder, a little bit too much, and it went out of bounds. I mean, he had his guy beat. Running routes, behind Bateman, he's probably the second best route runner on the team. And I know you probably say, "Oh, Zay Flowers." I know, but
no.
Yeah, this guy, man. Listen, hey, now you got 3 solid route runners. You know, I don't think the same issues that you've seen with the Ravens before, you know, will happen again.
Yeah, okay.
You know, it's just going to come down to Lamar making the throws, and I think, you know, he's locked in, and you know, all you can do is just hope for the best with it. You know, but I'm also with you. I mean, for the Ravens, the way I look at this season, you know, it's boom or bust. I mean, the Super Bowl or nothing. I mean, it's really no excuse. I understand the defense is not playing well, but hey, I mean, this thing is quarters even in the season. You got to fix it.
Absolutely. Who's your MVP favorite right now?
Oh man, I guess we're just gonna keep on with the Homer deal. But you know, I mean, right now you would just kind of, you know, hands tied. You if this thing ended the day, I mean, you still give it to Lamar Jackson. I mean, what now for the 4th straight season? I mean, it's just, you know, that's how much he gives you. You know, the third season straight. I mean, that's how much he gives you. I mean, he can beat you with his leg. He can beat you with his arm. The only reason that I feel this year that Lamar Jackson, the only chance that I see Lamar Jackson at, you know, in terms of not being able to get the MVP, is I don't know if you guys have noticed, Lamar Jackson has really turned into a pass-first quarterback. Yeah, he really has. I've actually watched plays where Lamar Jackson had 15 yards of clean space in front of him, and he decided to throw the football. Those there may affect his rushing numbers, you know, but outside of that, you know, in terms of just what he means to the game, in terms of how much you have to game plan for him, you know, hey, listen, every single week when the teams go against, you know, the Ravens, that's the guy that they're circling as the MVP that they got to stop to win the game. And as long as that continues to happen, I feel like he'll be the front runner for the league as well.
Yeah, I definitely think he's definitely a front runner. I'm gonna just throw up some. Obviously, we agree on that. So I'm gonna just throw out some other names though. Obviously, Josh Allen, like you said, Tim. I think my guy and Josh Allen. What's the other one? Oh my God, I forgot his name. Justin Herbert should be in that conversation. He's not going to win it, but he should be in the conversation. And then there's another guy I was thinking of between after Josh Allen. I can't think of his name. Jared Goff, thank you. Jared Goff, because all these think about this. Josh Allen's worst game was at Baltimore. Lamar Jackson's worst game was at Pittsburgh. Jared Goff's worst game was at Houston. So they all have one bad game. So like Tim said, what might separate them is the record. Like, for example, Lamar Jackson and Justin Herbert played head-to-head against each other this week. That might have a long way of deciding, okay, who's ahead of each other, and that's those two of the MVP race. Then, like I said, Lamar Jackson beat Josh Allen. They blew them out. Now, that's not the same team, Tim. I'm agreeing with you on that, but we can't act like that didn't happen. It happened.
Oh yeah.
And Lamar was the best. He was the best player on the field that night, Sunday night. So
I think so. That game for me, the game was over when Derrick Henry ran the first
play of the game. First play of the game. I don't really
think Lamar was the best player that day. But
okay, I'll do it like this. Lamar was the best or the second best player on the field subjectively, because Derrick Henry ended the game. The game started and ended when he ran that 89 untouched touchdown to the house. So I'll give you that. But he was the best or the second best player on the field. So I'm saying they all these candidates have one bad game, whereas though you're like, all right, you could pick from here, pick from there, look at like Jared Goff, Lamar Sunday, Josh Allen against the Ravens, Justin Herbert. He doesn't really have a bad game, but he had a game where he didn't throw for 200 yards. So they'll hold that against him as well because of how Jim must have played. So, but yeah, I would say right now, I'm not going to move you or deflate you off of one game. So I would say right now at this moment, my MVP would be Lamar Jackson.
Yeah, I'm like I said, I'm going Josh Allen. They beat the undefeated team. He ended the game. I think he playing on a phenomenal run. No knock to Lamar, but like I said, it's like the argument for me is like once they lose, they say they gotta get a ball to Derrick Henry, and I think Henry's gonna get some votes as well. So like, I think Josh is to me it's gonna be Josh Allen's to lose because I think he's the front runner. I think even Vegas dropped Lamar numbers after the game last week.
After the game, against the
yesterday. My fault. I said last week.
I'll give you
that's for me.
I'll give you this about Josh Allen. Before the season started, obviously, I didn't pick them to win that division. I picked somebody else. So, for them to do what they're doing now, like it is somewhat remarkable. They are 9-2. Like I didn't think the Bills would be 9-2 at this moment.
Yeah, no, for sure. For sure.
Go ahead, Ken. Go ahead.
Yeah, so I don't know, man. The Bills, first off, I have a lot of respect for Josh Allen and what he does and brings to the team. My concern with that team, when it comes down to it, is going to probably most likely be the secondary. It seems like with them, they're like an injury or two away from being in trouble. I mean, if you look at the way the team played when, now that they have the linebacker Terrell Bernard, I hope I'm saying his name correctly. He was like a huge impact for the team, which, a lot of guys are for teams, right? When he was out the game, I mean, it was just like a totally different team out there. So I think barring injury, there'll definitely be a team that will be they will definitely be a team that's going to be some contenders. I just, personally, after what I saw against that game against the Ravens the first time around, I just think, I don't know. I don't know if there's anything that they could correct, to stop them from the inevitable. The Ravens can beat you in a lot of different ways, man. And I don't think really there's not too many defenses that can really contend with that. The only team that's going to knock the Ravens out is a team that kind of puts defense first. So, hopefully we don't see the Steelers again in the playoffs. If we do, I'm not extremely worried. But hopefully we don't see a defensive-minded team in the playoffs. I think if, the Bills saw a defensive-minded team, I really wouldn't be surprised if they, went out, losing the game or more. To be honest with you, I don't think their offense is as dynamic as the Ravens. I don't think that they can deal with a good. In other words, if the Bills played the Steelers yesterday, I do not believe the Bills would have won, and I do not believe the game would have been as close. That's just my personal opinion.
Bills been putting up 30 balls.
Go ahead, Tom. I'm sorry. Go ahead. I'm thinking on that. I'm thinking on that now.
Guys, it's very unpopular opinion, but they just don't have those guys outside of Lamar Jackson or outside of Josh Allen that will really put that fear in your heart. I mean, James Cook, you game plan for him. You do. But him, basically the Bills got to decide every week where is he gonna beat you? Is he gonna beat you running the ball? Is he gonna beat you receiving the ball? Right?
Okay.
Then you look at Amari Cooper. Listen,
okay.
I'll be honest. I'm
go ahead.
on Amari Cooper.
Okay, me neither. Okay.
He's second, third tier receiver in my opinion. He is what he is. Keon Coleman is still, learning the ropes. NFL rookie wide receiver. He's shown glimpses, but I mean, he's not having a George Pickens type of year one. And then you look at the tight end.
You forgot two more players though. You forgot Shakir.
I like Shakir.
You got Samuels.
Oh yeah, I'm working. And who else?
Curtis Samuels.
Yeah. So with Curtis Samuel, I don't know. Maybe I don't watch the Bills enough, but he's a guy whenever he gets. Because I'll be honest with you, if Curtis Samuel was the answer, I don't really necessarily see why they go make the trade for Amari Cooper if Curtis Samuel was, so dynamic. Now, I know Shakir was hurt around the time that they traded for him. Shakir seems to be the number one guy, no doubt about it.
Yeah, I think Shakir is better than Curtis Samuel. That's just me.
Yeah, no. So y'all right about some of that, but like as a collective. So like you can't.
Oh yeah, as all in one.
All in one. And the way they're scheming it, you know what I'm saying? Like, all right, they might not be the best.
Well, let me ask you,
top 10, but
okay.
The way, if I can scheme you to get open, Kev, that's I don't care if you can run a route. If I can scheme you to get,
no doubt
if I can scheme you to get open,
yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
I would just, I would be willing to say to you, I mean, who do you feel has the better receiving core, and that can include tight ends? I mean, the Ravens or the Bills, and I just personally don't think that's close.
Well, I ain't gonna lie. So, okay.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Tim. Who got better receiving core? Tight ends and wide receivers. Bills or the Ravens?
What's the name? Nice.
Kincaid.
Like Kincaid.
Kincaid, nice.
Like I know y'all like.
How much better is Dalton Kincaid than Isaiah?
That's what I'm saying.
He's the number 2 tight end.
I'm gonna go 1 for 1, right? So like, I think Kincaid and
Mark
Andrews or likely. Which one? I can't go both.
Mark Andrews is tight end number 1, so I guess we can start there. Kincaid sounds.
I think they both me like right now. We talking about right now. Andrews before this year, Andrews is better before this year, right?
Okay.
Right now,
he's about even to me. Like they about even. Okay, Zay. I don't know if he's better. Like I'm not an Amari Cooper fan. Don't get me wrong, but he still can run routes and get open. I think he got a drop problem, but like I don't think Zay is clearly better than Amari Cooper. Like you can give him the nod. Like you be like, all right, I like Zay, but I don't think he's.
Right. I mean, you're not saying he's clearly better, but you're saying he's better.
He might be slightly. I'm not the biggest Amari Cooper fan, but Amari Cooper can get.
I'm not Amari
Cooper
fan.
One of the best route runners still.
He definitely is. So, still one of the best route runners in the league for sure. No
okay, so then we go to who? Bateman. Okay, Bateman. I don't think Bateman's better than Shakir. I don't think so.
Better than Shakir either. I think Shakir is actually featured in the Bills' offense.
Right. Okay.
Rashad Bateman has never featured in the Ravens' offense. The only time the Ravens ever featured Rashad Bateman in the offense was in those games against Miami. Lamar's first year out, when they had those long ball touchdowns, him and Zay, and then that following year when the Dolphins came here, they featured him, and it worked very well. Unfortunately, the Dolphins came back and won that game. But I personally don't think that Rashad Bateman has ever been truly featured in the Ravens offense.
I agree with that.
Maybe a couple plays this year, to be honest. And on those plays when he was featured, he did score and create a really good, separation.
So based on that assessment, who would you have better than?
Out of Shakir and Bateman?
Yeah, based on what you just said.
Oh, no doubt about it. I would take Shakir for sure.
Okay. So look, so all right, so we almost halfway through, and we almost tied. You know what I'm saying? Like it ain't like
we not even close to halfway through.
Okay. All right. So y'all third receiver is Aguilar?
No. It's gonna be Deontay Johnson.
Deontay. Okay, so he ain't really done that yet. So you got to go with Curtis Samuel and Deontay Johnson.
I couldn't even do it. I really couldn't.
I ain't gonna lie, Tim. I love you, Tim. I'm gonna give you this. I love you, and I know Deontay Johnson has not played well this year. But Deontay Johnson, obviously, I'm assuming we're talking about these players at their absolute best. Yo, Curtis Samuel couldn't wipe Deontay Johnson.
I'm sorry, he can't even catch. The Steelers was happy he was left. He can't even catch.
So that's why I can't say that. I can't say he can't catch.
See, now I gotta be real. I be trying to be nice and Ravens fan. He can't even catch the ball.
Yeah.
I can't say he can't catch. He's only been throwing the ball twice.
Like I don't know what people be watching.
So he had a drop problem in Carolina.
Yeah.
No, he had an attitude problem in Carolina.
That's why I thought he had an attitude problem in Carolina.
It's a reason if you have an attitude there.
I got you. Good teams don't normally let young receivers go. Why he gone? Why did the Steelers let him go?
I think the Panthers made a bad business decision all the way around because they could have held on to him and added more value at the trade deadline. They traded them early for nothing.
No. You said the
Panthers.
I said the Steelers.
Okay, I'm about to tell you why the Steelers. And when I say this, you're gonna roll your eyes, you're gonna scarf. But if you know football, so you know this truth. Bro, why am I gonna pay Deontay Johnson when I drafted Antonio Brown in the 6th round? When I drafted Plexico Barris, when I drafted Antoine Randall?
They not on the team. None of them guys on the team though.
Bro. Listen to what I'm saying. Listen to what I'm saying, bro. They drafted these guys in the late round. I'm not paying Deontay Johnson when I can find somebody else in the late round. That's what they were thinking.
That's a myth. They're not paying him because he wasn't good. Like you don't normally like unless you have salary cap problems, you pay good players. Like Cincinnati can't pay T. Higgins because they gotta pay Chase. So that's a different story. That's a different story.
Can't. That's what I'm saying.
But the Steelers have money. Who are they paying?
No, well, I don't know exactly. Well, when they went out to pay him, when they went out to pay him, when they went out to pay him, TJ Watt was the highest defensive player at a certain point, and Minka Fitzpatrick was the highest paid safety at some point. All I'm saying is this:
you still have money, bro. Two players don't make the salary cap. If he's that good, you pay a young receiver.
Two players don't make the salary cap, bro. Why the Cowboys? Never mind. You're right. Yeah, let me just say this, yo.
They're not. So you saying safety is making that much money where you can't pay a receiver?
I'm saying that the Steelers know how to draft receivers.
No, that's what I'm saying. You don't have to draft another guy if you have a guy, JD.
Yes, you do, bro.
If you play on the same team, right?
Yeah.
I'm a dog, and I'm doing what I'm supposed to do.
Yeah.
They're not gonna say, "Oh no, I can get another Tim in the 6th round."
Bro, you're right. Okay, let me say this. You're right. Deontay Johnson did not live up to his expectation, but in part, the Steelers got rid of him because they could replace him. Bro, they drafted people in late.
If you that guy, you don't get replaced. That's my point. If you
the Steelers got rid of Antonio. Hold on. The Steelers got rid of the best receiver in his prime, Antonio Brown.
Why, JD? Why?
No, why did they get rid of him? If he was that work, why did they get rid of him?
He's an off the field problem, JD. I'm talking. Deontay Johnson has no. Come on, Kev, what's wrong with Antonio? What's wrong with Antonio Brown?
I don't know if you remember sometime last year they was upset with Deontay Johnson about how he played with a whistle last year and stuff like that. He had issues, he had fair issues, I feel like, with the quarterback play, but he just couldn't keep his own attitude in check. And I think ultimately that's what resulted in him getting, booted out of there. But in regards to what we were saying, if Deontay Johnson's my 3rd or 4th receiver, I feel really good about that. Because we're not even talking about really the true number 3 receiver on the team is Justice Hill. And I'll be honest with you, I got a lot of respect for James Cook, but dude, how much better is James Cook than Justice Hill, realistically?
They don't same level.
That's their second running back.
Yeah, they same level to me. I agree. They same level.
And just imagine that most of the Ravens fans are ready for Keaton Mitchell to get promoted over Justice Hill.
Yeah.
And we haven't even talked about Derrick Henry yet or Lamar Jackson. And it's safe to say that maybe Lamar and Josh Allen cancel out, right?
Okay.
But then you have nobody for Derrick Henry. And I mean, he's worth 2-3 players. I mean, he just is.
Okay.
So the Ravens definitely have, in my opinion, have way more, weapons than the Bills. Both of them suffer from middle of the pack to not great defenses. I just think the Ravens are a little bit more dynamic, and that may carry them a little further than the Bills this year. But we'll see.
For sure.
Yeah, I will give before we wrap up with you, I'm going to give the Bills a slight advantage on defense because of their pass rushers. I think, obviously, Von Miller, Gregory Rousseau, and what's the other guy named? Rousseau and Espinenza. Espinenza, too. So, Rousseau, Espinenza, and Miller. I think those three they're the best. If you line them up, Ravens and Bills, they have the three best pass rushers.
Oh, I
So
was at Oliver is probably he's definitely creating a pass rush and an interior pass rush, which I would consider for most teams to be a luxury.
there you
To
go,
have
Ed Oliver.
thing, but to have the interior pass rush, I mean that's why the Ravens paid Matabike all as much money as because it was the interior pressure. I mean that's kind of hard to find. So
that's the difference of the Ravens. The Ravens do have inside pass rush with Matabike. You got Matabike and Oliver on the Bills, but the thing with separate Buffalo is they got them dudes on the outside. Von Miller played good against Kansas City. Buffalo's defensive line and pass rush has got to Kansas City in that game on Sunday. So it definitely made. I feel like the Bills pass rush is definitely good and allow them to be in that, which takes their defense to another level. You got that pass rush, you got a chance.
If I may say one more thing, last thing in regards to the Ravens pass rush, I do believe that the Ravens pass rush will improve as the season goes on. Very simply, the loss of Michael Pierce over the last few weeks has certainly hurt us. When you have a big, almost 400-pound defensive lineman that just eats up space on that D line, you got to worry about Michael Pierce, and then you got Nnamdi beside him. But the true, X factor of the defensive line, believe it or not, is a gentleman by the name of Travis Jones, who's also been dealing with injury for the last couple of weeks. Once those three guys are with their hand in the dirt on the field at the same time, you're going to see a totally different Ravens pass rush. I can almost guarantee you. And then, at the end of the day, they always say pass rush and secondary goes hand in hand. That there is going to also be something that, helps build the improvement to the secondary. The Ravens have the players in house. There's no doubt about that on the defensive side of the ball. It's just putting it all together. So it's a work in progress. Zachary Orr's first year as a defensive coordinator. We'll see how things progress.
Absolutely. Well, Kev, we want to thank you for your first ever visit on Highly Opinionated, brother. We look forward to having you back. We appreciate you for your time, man. It's been a pleasure, my brother. Thank you for everything. Nothing but love over here, man. You're the best, brother. We can't wait to have you back, bro.
Yeah, man.
Yes, appreciate you, Kev.
Guys, stay safe and stay strong. Really appreciate watching you guys show. You guys are doing an awesome job, man. Much love and respect to you guys. Keep up the great work, man.
Yes, sir. We appreciate you, bro.
All right. Much love. Thank y'all again.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to Highly Opinionated. Week 11 NFL recap, Tim. Let's dive in, man. Let's get to it. Starting off with one of the games of the week. Baltimore Ravens at the Pittsburgh Steelers. The Pittsburgh Steelers won 18-16. A game where the Pittsburgh Steelers kicked 6 field goals. Baltimore Ravens only scored 1 offensive touchdown. That came in the last minute of the game. Steelers are now 8-2. Baltimore Ravens are 7-4. What was your thought process on this game, and where do you see both teams going at from here?
Yeah, man, this Pitt defense was relentless, man. They figured out Lamar, and it's like, you know what I'm saying, like, we're gonna stop the running. I dare you to be this strong. Like I don't think people scared of Bateman. I don't think people scared of Flowers. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't think we'd be physical with them, and we'd just throw you off track. As long as you don't get too many explosive runs, I think people fine. Like let's load the box for Henry. Henry's been real regular since I made that statement, like I said, but it's all good. Yeah. Like I said, it get greater later, so y'all gonna keep saying what I'm talking about. It's gonna make more sense as it goes. Lamar was 16-33, 207 yards, 1 touchdown, 1 interception. Yeah, man, I don't know, man. Lamar just seemed to struggle in big games to me. Like the bigger the magnitude the game, and he don't really show up. But that nobody wants you to talk about it because it's Lamar Jackson. And since I'm black, I'm supposed to support the black man because I'm black. You know what I'm saying? That's what they want. That's how they try to get us. I'm black, so. Yeah, but I can talk about anybody other quarterback. I even talk about Jalen Hurts. He's black, but you talk about Lamar, man. It's you don't like him, you're a hater. I just don't get it, man.
Yeah, that is the conundrum that the Baltimore Ravens fans put you in when you speak of Lamar Jackson. I was one when he first came out. I said, very dynamic athlete. Didn't think he would be the passer he turned out to be, but said he could win you a lot of games, but will he win you the big game? That was my question. Now, I'm not going to be as critical of him not winning big games as you. I do think getting to an AFC Championship game, that's a milestone. That should be not celebrated, but that's an accomplishment. Now you just got to finish the job. As far as what happened on Sunday with these two teams, like you said, the Pittsburgh Steelers, they just played tremendous defense. I think they have, if not the best defense, a top 2, top 3 defense in the league. They just play the Ravens tough. They know how to play the Ravens because they play them twice. Great defensive plays from Patrick Queen throughout the game. Ron Wilson, the rookie from North Carolina State, the one who took the intercept, who took the ball from Justice Hill. That was a great play by him. Steelers defense, they just make timely plays. They know how to play the Ravens. Again, Mike Tomlin is he's just that dude. He really is. Like he can you give him anything, he will do the best with it. He will take it from here to the top of the building as much as he can. So shout out to Mike Tomlin. It's a gutsy win. The Steelers, like I said, are 8-2. The Ravens are 7-4. The Ravens they play Monday night at the LA Chargers. Next week, the Pittsburgh Steelers, short week, they play Thursday at Cleveland. Next game that we're going to go over is the game of the year. The Kansas City Chiefs and the Buffalo Bills. The Buffalo Bills won 30-21. Josh Allen, the star of the game, he was tremendous. 27 of 40, 262 yards, 1 touchdown, 1 pick. But he had to play of the game, play of the season with the 4th down run. Chiefs went zone on that play. Perfect coverage for that last play when Josh Allen ran and scored that touchdown to get Buffalo up 30-21. Josh Allen was tremendous. Patrick Mahomes. No, ladies and gentlemen, it's okay. It's like Tim said, it's okay to criticize Lamar Jackson. It is okay to criticize Patrick Mahomes. Patrick Mahomes, ladies and gentlemen, is having a below-average season. No one wants to say that. He is having a below-average season. He is putting the ball in harm's way. He had 2 interceptions yesterday. He had his 3 touchdowns, but everything is short with these guys. Everything they drafted Xavier Worthy to get down the field. They have yet to get down the field. So Buffalo is now 8-2, and the Kansas City Chiefs are now 9-1. Buffalo is 1 game out of first place in the AFC.
Yeah, this game came down to Josh Allen, man. I think he showed you why he is an MVP candidate and is now the front runner for MVP. Like, he just took over the game, like, you know what I'm saying, making plays. Like, they lost Diggs. Everybody was not big on the Bills after they lost Diggs, you know what I'm saying, or what he going to do, you know what I'm saying. Sometimes it'll be addition by subtraction. They bring in a lot of good pieces rather than one dominant piece, and they actually look like a better offense, in my opinion, because it's more weapons. Like, I could throw it to head. Like, I think he completed like to 6 or 7 different receivers yesterday. So, like, it's hard to just focus on one guy. And, yeah, man, shout out to Bills, man. I think, like I told you, I didn't think Kansas City was a 9-0 team. They haven't been playing good football most of the year. So, you know what I'm saying? Like, they're not in trouble, but I don't think they're coming out the AFC. Shout out to the Bills.
Buffalo, 4 wide receivers, Shakur, Samuel, Cooper, Mac Hollins, all got passes. So it doesn't have to go to one person like you said last year with Stephon Diggs. So addition by subtraction, that is a key phrase in the NFL, saying that it's lasted for years and generations that will keep lasting. You're right about that. I was one of those fans that thought the Bills would take a step back. No, not only have they taken a step forward, they might be the actual number 1 seed in the conference this season. I stand corrected. I said the Bills are 8-2. I'm sorry, they're 9-2. Kansas City is 9-1. Buffalo is 9-2. Buffalo is 1 game back out of first place. And Kansas City still, they have to play the Chargers. They have to play the Raiders. They have to play the Broncos again. They play Denver again. So they still have a few challenging games left on their season, especially Chargers and the Broncos. Last game we're going to go over. Well, let's go way back to the first game of the week. And that was the Philadelphia Eagles at home against the Washington Commanders. Philadelphia won 26-18 over the Commanders. We both picked the Eagles on this one. We're not surprised by that. That brother Saquon Barkley, 26 attempts, 146 yards, 2 touchdowns. The fans were chanting after the game that thank you, Giants, because if it wasn't for the Giants, they would not have Saquon Barkley. By the way, not to get your mind off this game, the guy that the Giants kept over Saquon Barkley, they're benching for Tommy DeVito.
Yep.
I digress. So the Eagles, Jalen Hurts didn't have his best game, 18 to 28, 221 yards. That's Saquon Barkley, that rushing game allowed the Eagles to do what they need to do. A.J. Brown, five catches, 65 yards. Dallas Goedert, 5 catches, 61 yards. Barkley had 2 catches for 52 yards. So a balanced act on the receiving tip. Devontae Smith, 4 catches, 29 yards. Eagles look loaded. I know it's a few people on this show that think the Eagles are Super Bowl bound. I think there's another team that's Super Bowl bound in the NFC, but hopefully we get to see that matchup down the line. Congratulations to the Eagles. The Eagles are now getting their record. Eagles are 8-2. Commanders are 7-4. So I fully expect the Philadelphia Eagles to win the NFC East.
Yeah, man. I think that game showed us like really levels. Like the Eagles started off slow and terrible. Like Washington had all their chances to take over the game. You know what I'm saying? They got up early, but it's just levels. Like I don't think, like we said, Washington is not there yet, and the Eagles just ran all over them. Saquon, even with Jalen Hurts not having a good day, Saquon could just take over the game. That's why I think it's just a tough out every week. And shout out to the Eagles, man. And I went 3-0 this week, man. So I like to bring out a prop. My 3-0
yes,
NFL pick,
prop.
Got the broom, baby.
The sweep. He got it. 3-0 this week.
3-0 this week, baby. Got the sweep.
You got the Steelers. You got that right. Eagles got that right. And Buffalo, yes. We both picked Buffalo. Both picked the Eagles. I took the Ravens. You took the Steelers. I was wrong on that one. Congratulations on your 3-0 week, my brother.
Yes, sir.
I'm sure if it was all about you, that would be one of your observations. Or one of the things, one of your week 11 recap. But let's get our week 11 observations from the NFL. Tim, you start us off. Our takeaways. As always, brother. You go first.
My first takeaway. Chargers almost gave me a house scare last night. Man, when I tell you, boy, I had a better takeaway, but they made it harder than what I'm saying. Because my boy Herb with that first half, boy, he was.
Woo!
Y'all remember them Nerf footballs with the whistle? That's what he was throwing last night with the arrow. Boy, that second half got rough for my boy, but he made two game trades and throws to end it for me. So.
Oh, your boy. That's my boy. I said he was the top 5 quarterback. That's my boy. What they doing here, y'all? What they doing here? Why are they doing that? It's my man. Said the man was the top five quarterback. You died.
My bad.
I didn't even know you came back to life. I didn't even know you came back to life. It resuscitated you. It's crazy. It's my guy. It's like, no, that's your boy. You saved the top 3. All jokes aside, you got it. That brother's playing well, though. You got that. He is playing.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. They struggled a lot in the second half, but that last drive, man, it was one.
When the money was on the line, he did what he needed to do.
He did what he did, man. Next one, man. Denver dominated Atlanta, man. Atlanta crazy. Like, I was watching that game. You're like, it's no way y'all this bad on defense. Like, it's just no way. Bo Nick, he looked like Drew Brees out there.
Drew Brees.
Like, I was like, he was 28 or 32 or something. I said, he only missed
some Drew Brees type of numbers.
Yeah, I said, what is going on, Atlanta, I'm worried. I am worried. I'm worried, brother. I ain't gonna lie to you. I am scared. I am worried, boy. Yeah. If the Bucks ain't get injured, man, y'all might.
Oh, I know.
I ain't gonna say they would because I don't want to be wrong, but that thing might have been tighter than I thought because y'all are worrying me, boy. I tell you. Woo! That wasn't fair. I think they on the bye week this week. Raheem Morris, y'all gotta get that together, bro. That was terrible. That was like, and y'all really. I'm not gonna say y'all kept Denver in the playoff race, but Denver, they lurking in that wild card spot. Like that was a big game for both teams.
I know who they did keep in the playoff race. Tampa Bay at home. We keep Ken and the Saints. As bad as the Saints have been, they got a chance because the Falcons are I think they're 6-5 now.
Yeah, is it 6-5?
6-5.
You might be right. Yes.
That was a 6-5.
Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, man. Next one, man. NFC West, man, wide open, man. I thought the 49ers was getting a little healthier, so I'm thinking I'm not gonna say back to business because they're not the same team. And I keep hearing one of the people I listen to regularly saying the window closed. Like Coach JB been saying it, JD been saying it. So I don't know, man. That window looking like it's closing kind of quick, man. Cause they just lost a tough one to Seattle, man. So like that division crazy. That's gonna be a wild finish at the end.
Absolutely.
My last shout out, man. I gotta shout out Sean McDermott and the Bills, man. I almost cried watching that last drive for the Bills because he played to win the game, man. That's all I wanted to see all year.
Yeah,
man.
I get you that.
They had a chance to kick the field goal. Most coaches would have, let's kick the field goal. Let's see what happens on defense. Then they get on the mic, lose the game, and say, yeah, they give you the same routine speech. My boy McDermott said, no, 4th and 2, we going for. You know what I'm saying? We put that's their best player on their side of the quarterback. Our best player is our quarterback. We gonna rock with him, man. I love the play call. I told my man, I said, Allen ain't throwing this ball at all. I don't care if it's a pass play. He running. Like, you know what I'm saying? I'm not even risking nobody dropping the ball. Just run for 2 yards. He did more than what I thought. He ran for the touchdown. But, yeah, I got to shout out to that play call. That's a gutsy play call. You play to win the game. I've been preaching that for 14 episodes. Shout out to the Bills, man.
Yeah, much needed win. Now, you know this. The steam of that win is going to go away if they don't win in the playoffs. If they have that, we have that matchup again, which I hope we do have that matchup again. But Buffalo needed that win. They got that win. Great win. And like you said, Sean McDermott played to win, unlike Matt Eberflus, who played to lose and lost. You can't do that. So I definitely agree with you on that. It's my turn for my observations this week, and I'm gonna start off with Matt Eberflus. Matt Eberflus fired. You literally didn't run a play, and when you got to the post game press conference, you said, "Well, you know, something could have went wrong." You damn right, something went wrong. They hired your stupid ass to be the coach. That's what went wrong. And they kept you with a rookie quarterback, knowing damn well you don't know nothing about no offense. The Chicago Bears, you deserve everything that's coming to you, and that you get because you stupid enough for hiring him as the head coach. Now, is he a great defensive coordinator? Fine, he can have that. You know this better than anybody. Every coach is not a head coach. That doesn't mean you're not a good coach.
Right.
Running back coach, wide receiver coach, DB coach, offensive line, defensive line, type, whatever. Quarterback coach. You can have that. That's fine. But you don't. Matt Eberflus is not a head coach. I been knew that, but that was confirmed on Sunday. So Matt Eberflus, so don't worry. Couple more weeks, bro, you'll be on that unemployment line. You go back to right where you belong, being a defensive coordinator or a defensive coach. No, sir, it's no shade, no hate. I just speak on what I see. I comment on what I see. My next observation. I'm not gonna call it this, but this is just the fired coaches list this week. Doug Peterson. The fact that you still have a job is insane to me. You should have been fired after the game. I remember one time. Remember that joke they had about Herman Edwards? He got fired at Arizona State. They said he got fired on the field. They should have fired Doug Peterson on the field in Detroit on Ford Field on Sunday, bro. You are a professional NFL team. I know college teams that play subpar teams. Vanderbilt played Alabama and they beat them. Bro, you lost by 46 points. That is impossible to do in an NFL game. Impossible. Like, how is that possible? How? I do not understand how that you lost by 46 points. And more importantly, I don't understand how you still have a job. You, Dougie P. You know, I love Trevor Lawrence. That was my guy. Remember, I was saying Trevor Lawrence is better than Justin Herbert. Not with your ass, he not. Sir, you need to go. You, Trent Baalke, Shad Khan, the other son that got AEW, y'all need to go do something else because this ain't it. They lost by 46 points. An NFL team lost by 46 points. That is insane. That is insanity. Crazy. Ladies and gentlemen, last week I tried to give you Washington Commanders fan a realistic view on what y'all could be. Y'all believe me now? I told y'all Philly was going to go in there and do what they had to do. And Jalen, my compadre, I know how my compadre feels about Jalen Hurts. That's fine. He didn't even play that well. My compadre said the offense started off slow. Tim, ladies and gentlemen, obviously you know, man. Well, you don't know. We're letting you know now. Inside, behind the scenes, we have a group chat. We text every game. What's going on? I'm like, Tim, Tim was like, man, we starting off. So I said, Tim, don't worry. they have you have Saquon Barkley. They don't. That's the moral of the story. He dominated. The Redskins defense, and I said this to you, you know this. The Commanders defense is not good.
No.
They won these games because they played average to sub-average teams, and that's fine that you got your wins like that. But when you play the big boys, the Baltimore Ravens, the Philadelphia Eagles, you see who you are. The Commanders can make the playoffs this year and give somebody a tough game in the first round. That's what they are. There's nothing wrong with that. You got to take steps and become steps, then levels to become great. The Washington Commanders are on their path. Stop this crap about they going to win a division. They're going to win 5 straight. Cut that bullshit out. They be lucky to make the playoffs. Congratulations on doing that. They have a great young rookie quarterback. Let's see if he can have a. I don't want to fast forward past his first year. Let's let him finish out. By the way, that competition with offensive rookie of the year, Jaden Daniels and Bo Nix. That's something now, ladies and gentlemen. Keep your eye on that. But also, let's see if he can have a good second year. Obviously, he hasn't finished his first year, but everybody said C.J. Stroud was going to take the next level. He didn't. So let's let Jaden Daniels play. Let's let the situation rock out, and let's go at it from there. Go ahead, bro.
Not even. What about Jordan Love? He look a little.
Thank you. You got me to my next takeaway. The love roller coaster, because that's what he is. This brother will be like, "Oh my Jordan, what the fuck? Oh, that's the Jordan Love I know, bro." His interceptions, it's like he has to do one stupid ass play in the game to be like, "Oh, I'm playing football now. Okay, I can't do that no more." You know, Tim, in the playoff, that's why they lost last year to San Francisco. You can't do that. You can't do that against Detroit. You can't do that against Philly. They're gonna beat you, especially if they home. We saw Philly beat them early this year because he was throwing lollipops up in there. You can't do that, Jordan Love. You have potential. You definitely got potential, bro. You gotta stop turning that bill. You gotta stop turning that pill over, sir. You are turning the ball over entirely too much. You are one of the leaders in interceptions. Stop turning the ball over. You're turning the ball over entirely too much.
Facts.
You're watching Highly Opinionated. We'll be right back. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to Highly Opinionated. Week 12 of the NFL season, Tim. Fastly approaching. As always, man, again, we say this before. Weeks coming like this. NFL playoffs will be here before we know it. Best time of the season. Start off with our first game that we'll preview this week. The 6-4 Arizona Cardinals travel to take on the 5-5 Seattle Seahawks. Sunday at 4:25 Eastern on Fox. Like you said in the last segment, this NFC West is super duper wild. You got the Arizona Cardinals in first place at 6-4. And in second and third and fourth places, respectively, are the Rams, Seattle, and San Francisco. All three of those teams are 5-5. Who's winning on Sunday?
Ooh, man, this is a tough game.
Bill, I'm sorry. Before you go, my bad, brother. Arizona's favored by 1 point on the road.
This is a tough game, honestly, because Arizona's starting to grow on me. Like the style of play they got, starting to grow on me. They're a little better than I thought they was, for real. Like, I'm not gonna lie to y'all. But that Seattle win yesterday was huge to me. Like, it was
huge.
Like, that was like Geno running that like. I'm going Seattle, man. I'm gonna take Seattle at home. I think they make enough plays offensively with DK Metcalf. My boy over there, why I be forgetting names? Other receiver. DK Metcalf.
Tyler Lockett, Jackson
Tyler
Smith,
Lockett, and the Jigba, yeah. I think they're going to be able to score enough points on the Cardinals, even though the Cardinals defense is pretty solid. It ain't bad or good. So give me the Seahawks.
The funny thing about this is that these teams play Sunday coming up, and they also play December 8th, which is about 2 weeks away. They have a 2-week gap, and then they play each other again. I think division rivals that are close, they're usually split. So I'm going to take the Seattle Seahawks at home as well. I think it's a little more important game for Seattle. Arizona can still beat them in 2 weeks or 3 weeks in Arizona on December the 8th. So I'm going to take Seattle, like you, at home to beat Arizona. I like what I saw Sunday at San Francisco. That was a gritty, grimy win, and that win can propel you to success, especially the following week, because they beat San Francisco for the first time in like 3-4 years. So shout out to Shout out to Seattle, and I like Seattle to beat Arizona. The next game we're going to go over is the 5-5 San Francisco 49ers at the 7-3 Green Bay Packers. This game is Sunday, 4:25 Eastern on Fox. Green Bay is favored by 2.5. Taking the upset. I like San Francisco to beat Green Bay. San Francisco has been up and down and down and up. Oh, I did it wrong. Down and up. They've been up and down and up this whole season. They lost to Seattle at home. That caught their attention, so I think they'll be up for this game. And I am not, as I said in my observations, I am not a fan of what Jordan Love has put out on this field, put out on the field as far as these interceptions. I think San Francisco forced him to a couple turnovers. Give me San Francisco on the road to beat Green Bay.
Yeah, that's a great pick, actually, man. I was leaning 49ers, and I was like Packers at home, and then I was like, you know what? I think the 49ers is going to play like Cincinnati played in the second half of that Chargers game last night, but they're going to do it from the gate. So that's why I like the 49ers. I think 49ers win the game. I think they do, like you said, force Love and 1 or 2 turnovers because that's just his MO at this point. So
absolutely,
give me the 49ers.
Turnover machine. One quick question before we move forward. How would you fix his turnover machine? How would you fix it with him?
Honestly, when I'm watching the games, to me it looked like it's mechanically, like he's not seeing, and it's like he's not seeing some of his throws. Like most of his turnovers are overthrows. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
So it's something in the mechanics. It's not, you know what I'm saying? It's not like the one he had Sunday. It was an overthrow. The guy he wanted was open. You know what I'm saying? The tight was open at the hitch. He just overthrew him. So it looked like it's mechanically. Like that's what it looked like from what I'm saying.
One thing I learned about people that play quarterback, everything got to line up. Your eyes got to match your hands. Your hands got to match your legs got to match your feet. And obviously everything has to match your brain and what you're seeing. So I think he has something 1 + 1 isn't equal to 2. His eyes might be right, but the mechanics might be wrong. Mechanics might be right, but the feet might not be set. So things like that. So I think Jordan Love is a good quarterback, like I said, but the turnovers and San Francisco needing the game, I think I'm going to take San Francisco to win that game. The last game that we're going to go over, Monday night, the Baltimore Ravens, the 7-4 Baltimore Ravens travel to go to the LA Chargers. They play the 7-3 LA Chargers Monday night, ESPN. Who you like?
Woo. Man, so the hardball bowl, right?
Yeah, Ravens are favored by 3 points.
That's interesting. Yeah, so one team got Justin Herbert, other team got Lamar. One team got J.K. Dobbins and Gus Edwards. One team play defense, the other team don't. Give me the Chargers.
Give me the Chargers.
I'm take the Chargers, man. You know what I'm saying? I think the Ravens don't look good to me. I know they 7-4, but they really, to me, if you've been watching like the totality of it, they really haven't been like good the whole year to me. Like offensively, they've been having bright moments, but defensively, it's been bad. And it's like I think it's just gonna catch up with them. They one of the most penalized teams in the league. Like it's just they get out their own way. Like they can't help themselves out even when they do make plays, and that's not gonna go well with the Chargers. And I think the Chargers kind of mad at like what happened last night. They won the game, but it was like, nah, we can't. You know what I'm saying? Like they almost gave that game away. Like I'm not saying if the kicker make the field goals, they win it, but it's pressure a little different if he make them field goals. Now you definitely got to score. So give me the Chargers. I think they bounce back defensively, and I think they're the better team right now.
I agree. I like the Chargers to win on Monday night. I think they are the better team. I think the Chargers have the better defense currently right now. Both quarterbacks are playing top 5-ish levels. I think Lamar's slightly playing a little bit better than Justin Herbert, slightly throughout the totality of the season. Justin Herbert's coming on strong. Some of those passes he had on Sunday Night Football was Justin Herbert can take your breath away at certain moments with his passes. His passes, like you said, whistling through the wind. That's how sharp and accurate they are. But again, I'm taking the Chargers. They have the better defense, and I said this before the season started, ladies and gentlemen. I should have said it on the show, so it's going to make it seem like I'm late to the party. I am a Jim Harbaugh supporter. Everywhere Jim Harbaugh goes, winning occurs.
Right.
He was a pass interference away of winning the Super Bowl. He won a national championship in January at his alma mater, the University of Michigan. When Jim Harbaugh comes to your situation, your team, your town, your whatever, he's going to change it. He's going to make it ground and pound. You're going to be physical, and you're going to play a certain type of brand ball. I think Jim Harbaugh, I've been saying he was a top 10 coach in the NFL before the season started. I'm starting to think he's a top 5 coach in the NFL. The brother can coach any level, college, high school, JUCO, yo homeboy on the street, whatever. He can do it. I like the Chargers. They have the better head coach. Jim Harbaugh is a better head coach than John Harbaugh. Give me the Chargers. Before we get up out of here this week, Tim, let's go over a few college basketball games, marquee games this week. Starting on Monday, number 4 Gonzaga at San Diego State. That's 10 o'clock. Tuesday, number 13 Purdue travels to number 15 Marquette at 9 o'clock. Good game. Game's on FS1, brother. Make sure you take a look at it. Wednesday, Illinois at number 2 Alabama. That's at 9 o'clock, SEC Network. Thursday, number 12 Baylor versus number 22 St. John's at 7 o'clock. Virginia versus number 11 Tennessee at 9:30. Bahamas Classic. On those 2 games are part of the Bahamas Classic. On Friday, Nebraska travels to number 14 Creighton at 8 o'clock. And the game of the week, I'm not just saying this because I'm a Duke fan, but I think these are the best matchup this week. Number 6 Duke travels to number 9 Arizona. They get to play Caleb Love again. If you're a Duke fan, you so sick and tired of Caleb Love playing against Duke, you're like, man, when is this Duke gonna get out of college? Lord have mercy. But Duke plays against Arizona, 10:30. Should be a good game, ESPN2. Saturday at 12 a.m., number 10 North Carolina, they're playing at Hawaii. And then Saturday morning, number 15 Marquette versus Georgia at 11 a.m. So a lot of great marquee college basketball games this week. Any games that that Purdue Marquette game got your attention, so I'm sure you'll be watching that.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, definitely.
Absolutely. College basketball is heating up. We'll give you the marquee games of the week, and as the season progresses, we'll do more and more talking about college basketball. Tim, I wanted to bring up something to your attention. So the NBA, they struck a deal with Amazon, ESPN, their new TV partners, NBC, Peacock. So they left TNT out of the deal. However, so with TNT being out of the deal, that means inside the NBA was going to be done. However, that is not happening. ESPN and TNT Sports officially announced the Inside the NBA deal, which starts the 2025-26 season. Ernie Johnson, Kenny, Charles, and Shaq. Let me put quotation marks in Shaq. Shaq is currently a TV free agent. He is not re-upped with TNT, so just keep that in mind too. Just saying. Those guys will be a part of opening week, Christmas Day, opening week, Christmas Day games, ABC games after January 1st, the playoffs, and including the NBA Finals. Ladies and gentlemen, this sucks. I'm used to seeing these guys every week. ESPN doesn't know what to do with the NBA. If they did, they would have been better than TNT's coverage. They've never been better than TNT's coverage. Sure. They don't know what to do with this. Inside the NBA, ESPN is still going to have NBA Countdown. They're still going to have their other studio shows. If you bought this on, just get rid of NBA Countdown and let them do the countdown. Let it be Inside the NBA. Terrible move. Terrible move if you're an Inside the NBA fan. I've been watching these guys for years. Terrible move. Go ahead, Tim.
I'm not gonna lie. Sometimes, man, that commentator be better than the games, man. Like the halftime show, even after it. Sometimes I catch myself watching after the game just to hear them laugh and talk and joke. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, definitely a bad move. But I know 2 replacements. If they looking for 2 replacements, there's 2 guys on this highly opinionated show. If they wanna, you know what I'm saying? they want to offer something. We here, you know what I'm saying? Just talk to us.
Now look, we can cover better than ESPN, okay? We can make you laugh. We'll bring you the knowledge. We'll get some knowledgeable basketball experts in here, and we'll make the thing do what it do.
Yeah, make it work.
So we got you. But terrible move for Inside the NBA, man. Seeing them every week. Now you're gonna be seeing them sporadically, man. So basically, I have to mark on your calendar when the next time they'll be on TV. It was crazy. Want to thank you guys for watching episode 14 of Highly Opinionated. For the best producer in the game, Ross. The best co-host in the game, Tim. I'm merely Josh. We'll see you guys next week. We out.
Appreciate y'all.